You told yourself you'd start on Monday. Then, Monday became the first of the month. Now you're just waiting for that perfect moment that, let's be honest, never seems to show up. That little whisper in your head, the quiet promise of one day, has become the official soundtrack to your inaction. This isn't just another motivational video full of empty hype. This is the real, direct conversation you've been avoiding. Your dreams are on the line, and the time for one day is officially over. This is your wake-up call. We're not just going to talk about procrastination. We're going to take it apart, piece by piece, right here and now. Because procrastination isn't just putting off a task, it's putting the life you were meant to live on hold. Let's get painfully honest for a second. The phrase "one day" is the most expensive phrase in the world. It doesn't cost you money. It costs you time, potential, and the person you could have become. Every time you say it, you're basically paying a tax on your dreams. The gap between who you are and who you want to be gets wider. And that quiet frustration, that nagging sense of unfulfilled potential, starts eating away at your self-esteem. But here's the thing. This isn't a character flaw. It's more like a design flaw in how we're wired, built on a few hidden mental traps. The first trap is the perfectionism prison. You avoid starting because you're terrified you won't meet the ridiculously high standards you've set for yourself. The fear of not doing it perfectly becomes so paralyzing that you choose to do nothing at all. You convince yourself it's better to have an unfinished masterpiece in your head than a flawed but finished product in the real world. This isn't a noble quest for excellence, it's a shield to hide your fear. The second trap is the tyranny of now. Your brain is hardwired to want comfort right now and avoid discomfort right now. The amazing long-term reward of achieving your dream feels abstract and far away, while the comfort of scrolling your phone or watching another episode is right here, tangible and immediate. So you make a trade. You trade the person you could be in 5 years for the comfort of the next 5 minutes. Procrastination is just an emotional escape hatch. You're not lazy, you're just avoiding the negative feelings you've attached to the task. But the relief is temporary, and the debt you owe your future self just keeps growing. And the final trap is the fixed mindset fallacy. If you believe deep down that your talents are set in stone, you will naturally avoid any challenge that might expose what you see as your limits. Why risk failure if you believe it defines you? People with this mindset are more likely to procrastinate because they see effort not as the price of growth, but as a sign that they aren't smart enough to begin with. You're not just avoiding a task, you're avoiding a final verdict on your own capabilities. So, how do we break free? Not with some flash of motivation that's gone by morning. We do it with strategy. We do it by taking action, no matter how small. Because clarity and confidence don't come from thinking, they come from doing. First, you have to shatter perfectionism by aiming for good enough. Perfection is the enemy of done. Instead of a flawless masterpiece, what's the absolute minimum viable effort you can take to make progress? What does a good enough first step actually look like? The founder of Spanx, Sarah Blakely, didn't wait to become a hosiery expert. She started with an idea and a pair of scissors, learning through messy, imperfect action. Your first draft is supposed to be rough. Your first workout is supposed to be awkward. The first attempt is for learning, not for a standing ovation. Give yourself permission to be a beginner. The second strategy is the 5-minute lifeline. The hardest part of any journey is getting your shoes on. The resistance is always highest at the very beginning. So we trick our brain. Commit to working on your goal for just 5 minutes. Anyone can do 5 minutes. Set a timer, and for 300 seconds, you just do the thing. The magic here is that, very often, you'll keep going once the timer dings. You've broken through the inertia. Starting is the real obstacle, and the 5-minute rule is the key that unlocks the door. Third, you have to break it down to build it up. A dream like start a business or get in shape isn't a goal. It's a recipe for instant overwhelm. It's too big, too vague. You have to break it down into tiny, manageable, non-scary tasks. Start a business becomes 1. Research 3 possible business names. Get in shape becomes 1. Put on my workout clothes. When a task is small enough, your brain's resistance to it melts away. You build momentum not by conquering a mountain in a single leap, but by stacking small, consistent wins, one on top of the other. Before we get into how to make these changes stick, let's make a deal. If this is hitting home for you, take a second and hit that like button. But more importantly, I want you to go to the comments right now and declare the one dream you've been putting off. Let's turn this comment section into a public declaration of intent. This isn't just a video, it's a community of people who are done waiting. These strategies will get you moving, but to make it last, you need to change the way you think. You have to rewire your brain for action and resilience. This starts by adopting a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the core belief that your abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. This reframes everything. A challenge is no longer a threat, it's an opportunity. Failure isn't a final judgment, it's just feedback. Research is clear that people with a growth mindset are far more likely to persevere through difficulties and proactively tackle challenges because they see effort as part of the process of improvement. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," you start asking, "What am I missing? How can I learn to do this?" That one shift changes the entire game. Next, you have to celebrate the small wins. We are terrible at this. We finish one small thing and immediately get discouraged by the mountain of work still ahead. This is a motivational killer. Every time you complete a small step, even if it's just your 5 minutes, you need to consciously acknowledge it. A simple good job to yourself, a check mark on a list, whatever works. This isn't about ego, it's about neuroscience. Celebrating these little milestones releases dopamine in your brain, which makes the process itself feel rewarding. You are literally training your brain to enjoy making progress. Finally, engineer your environment for success. Motivation comes and goes, but structure is reliable. Use tools like time blocking, where you schedule your goals into your calendar like a doctor's appointment, making them non-negotiable. Then level up with temptation bundling. This is where you pair something you want to do with something you need to do. For example, you only get to listen to your favorite podcast while you're on your daily walk. You only get to watch your favorite show after you've spent 30 minutes on your side project. You're making the habit you need to build the gateway to the reward you already want. Even with the best strategies in the world, you're going to have days where you slip. You'll face setbacks. The goal isn't to be perfect, the goal is to be resilient. This is where the power of reflection comes in. When you have an off day, don't spiral into self-criticism. Get curious. Ask yourself, what did this teach me? What was the trigger? What can I tweak for next time? View every misstep as valuable data that will make your next attempt stronger. This is how you turn a roadblock into a compass. And lean on the principle that has guided countless successful people. Consistency beats intensity. It's not about one heroic 12-hour caffeine-fueled work session. It's about showing up for 30 minutes day after day, especially on the days you don't feel like it. The habit of just showing up is more powerful than the quality of the work you do on any single day. That consistency is what builds unstoppable momentum. The person you want to become isn't forged in one single moment of grand inspiration. They are built day by day, through small, imperfect, and consistent actions. Procrastination dies the moment you stop waiting for perfect conditions and realize the only condition you ever needed was the decision to begin. You've been telling yourself one day, but time is relentless. It doesn't care about your fears or excuses. Clarity comes from action. Confidence comes from action. The life you want is waiting for you on the other side of the work you're avoiding. This was your wake-up call. The alarm is ringing. The perfect moment is a myth. The only moment you truly have is this one. What are you going to do about it? If you're ready to stop delaying and start doing, subscribe for more honest conversations just like this one. And please, share this video with one person you know who needs to hear this message. This journey is always easier when we do it together. Now go, take that first step.